So today we're going to do the find the longest word in a string. It's the basic algorithm scripting and free code camp. The instructions say to return the length of the longest word of the provided sentence, and the response should be a number. So, looks like I have to reset the code just to get it back to where it started from. So the first thing that we want to do, it says we need to find the longest word in the sentence. Well, how do we get it into words? Right here in the helpful links, it says we should look at string.split. And we have seen this in a previous video and in a previous exercise in free code camp. So we should know the basics of this by now. But string.split takes an optional separator. And if we want to separate this string into words, we're going to want to separate it by spaces. So let's give that a shot. Let's remove this line, and we'll go ahead and say our words equals string.split, and we'll split it on a space. We'll console log the words. And it looks like that's what we wanted. We're going to have to just keep our eye on the top line for now and not worry about all the other stuff. So it's split into words. And that's the first step finished. Next, we need to find the longest word, and we have to provide the length as a number. Let's go ahead and clear that console. And if you remember, there is a function. Oh, here it is in the helpful links too. String.length. And it says the syntax is just string.length. So we'll go ahead and we'll see what happens when let's make a little loop. We'll loop through all the words and we'll just console log the length of each word. So we'll say for I equals 0, I is less than words length, and I plus plus. We'll say console log words I. Go ahead and run that, and it's going to be a whole bunch of stuff. And that is returning each word. So we're on the right track, but we need to console log words I dot length. We'll clear the console and run this again. It's hard to tell if it's really correct or not, but it looks like it's right. Got a lot of words that are 3 letters, 5 letters, 3 letters. Looks right to me so far. So what we're going to do in the basic implementation here is we're going to give ourselves a variable, a temporary variable with our it's going to be our answer at the end. Bar answer equals 0, because we know that we're trying to find the longest word, so 0 is obviously going to be smaller than the longest word. So that'll be a good starting point for us. Now we're going to, inside this loop, we're going to say something like this. If words I dot length is greater than answer, then we'll just set answer to words I dot length. And that should be enough to get us going here. Let's go ahead and just try to return answer. And it looks to me like this is going to give us the go ahead and say that we beat it. Okay, so that worked. But there are many other ways to do this. The first thing I'm going to show you is the way that ES6 makes this quite a bit easier. At least it's a lot less typing. So we'll go ahead and check that out first. Now when you use ES6 in Free Code Camp, you have to drop in this line here. It tells JS hint that you're going to be using ES6. So it doesn't give you warnings. It will actually work without this line, but you'll have a bunch of warnings in your editor. So the basic idea is going to be the same. We're going to say, we'll just go ahead and change this all to ES6 for now. So const words equals string split. And then we'll have to use let for this answer because the answer is going to be changing. And we'll go ahead and say for let I of words. Then we can just go ahead and say I dot length here instead of words I. Just makes it a little bit easier. It's not a big deal. It just makes your code a little bit cleaner looking in my opinion. And this is the exact same function. There's nothing really different except this of is actually, it's called iterable. It's iterating through your array, and it is returning I instead, and you can use I instead of words, and then I in the square brackets. So let's give this a shot and just make sure I don't have any typos. That worked fine. Well, the next thing we want to think about, since all we care about is the length of the words, we can go ahead and instead of having an array of words, we can have an array of the lengths. And there's a function in JavaScript that's called map. It's array.map. We'll go ahead and give it a quick look here. Oh, okay. It was looking for a website called array.map. Alright, so find the MDN link. And it says map creates a new array with the results of calling a function on every element in this array. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make an array of the lengths. So go back here. We'll just remove all of this for now, except for the breaking it into words. And we'll say const lengths equals words dot map. And I'll just go ahead and quick write it out in the ES5 way because map is available in ES5. It is just a little bit longer syntax. So the old way to do this would be to write out the function, and usually you use an A or an I, but all this means the A is each element in the array. And then we will return a dot length. And then we'll go ahead and console log the lengths. First I'll clear my console, and then we'll go ahead and we'll just look at the top one. The first one that gets output is 3553643. So 35536. Looks like we're doing good there. Now let's go ahead and write this map out into the ES6 way, which is, in my opinion, much easier to write and probably easier to read too. So all we have is we have the same A, and we return a dot length. That's all there is to that. And if we go ahead and console log the links again, we should get the exact same output, and we do. So now we're going to go ahead and say, instead of saying words.map, we can go ahead and do this. String.split.map will give us our links all in one line, just like that. And now there is a function in the math library. I doubt that it says anything about it here, and no, I don't see it, but the math library has a function called max, which what it does is it takes the maximum out of a list of numbers. So we'll check that out. So mathmax can take parameters of value 1, value 2, or as many as you want. But you can also use, hopefully I can see it here, but there's, okay, with our new spread operator, getting the maximum of an array becomes a lot easier. So math.max, and then you spread out the array and you get your answer from that. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. I guess we can console log that too. Let's see. And clear the console out. Go ahead and run that. And 6 is the answer we were looking for. So we'll go ahead and instead of console logging this, we'll return it. Get rid of this other parenthesis. And this is probably the most readable way to do it, in my opinion, using ES6. If you are not comfortable with ES6 yet, that's fine. The first way that we solved the problem is a perfectly valid solution. You could also do this. Instead, you could make this all on one line, just like this. Take this array that we built and put it right here. That to me has a little bit too much going on. This should work. It will work. It does work. But I don't know. To me, it's just a little bit too much going on. I kind of like it this way personally, but that's personal opinion. So whatever you like to do is fine. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll try to keep them going. If you have any suggestions for me, leave them in the comments. Thank you.